Okay, so everyone, this is the type of chat app we are going to make. I have used the Godot Firebase and real-time database, so all of our chat will be in real-time sync. And most of you guys are going to probably are trying to make a lobby for your game, and you can do that also. Right, so what we have here is that don't go on my UI because I just designed the prototype. There is going to be this user profile where amsker@amsker.com and there is going to be nickname. The reason why I did it is just to check that can I able to retrieve the user information or not, right? Then you have this chat rooms where, or you can say how many users we have in database, right? As you find on the, you find username, how many people you want to chat with. That way you have this chat rooms where amsker and user2, we have two users. And of course, you can update your nickname and kind of like that. So I have made this basic testing UI. And this is your public chat room, right? And of course, you can also make a private chat between these users. That is exactly why I have created this chat room system where you can click on it and you can have you can communicate with them, but I haven't implemented it yet because then explaining code base will get very complicated. So right now it is very small code, so explanation will be very easy. Right, so let's say I am sending message from my Android. I send the message, right? And as you can see, we have this message. Hey, this is from the Android. And of course, I can also send it and it will be syncing in the real time, right? And also in my Android, I have received that particular message. So this works, and this is the public chat room. So anyone who is going to join will be able to see all of these chats, right? And in order to do that, in order to make your chats private, you will need to create a rules such that the only this user and this user can access their private chat, but not else. That is entire different story. Now let's get started how you are going to make this chat app. So first of all, head towards the Firebase, right? And what you need to do is that you need to create a Godot, you need to create Firebase web app. But before we go, let's look at here. So I have uploaded my project source code on the my GitHub, which is Chatapp Godot Firebase. You can download it and you can use it as you please. The add-on we used, right? The Godot add-on we use, it is Godot Firebase Lite. And in this add-on, you can actually, you don't need to program the REST API. It already has everything in it, so you can actually directly use that. The problem is that I have actually modified this particular add-on in our project while I was working. I modified the add-on, but I forgot that I should have just forked it. Then I should have modified it. So you will need to just download that. But right now, what you need to do, download just this folder add-ons Godot Firebase Lite and paste it on your root directory, on your project root directory. So as you can see, this is my project root directory, or root directory means the dot directory if you don't understand, and you can add your add-ons folder as it is. Just add it as it is, right? Now let's go to the Firebase. So we have this Firebase app, and how many features we are going to use? We are going to use authentication and real-time database. You can also use Firestore database in order to save the profile images of the user, right? If you want to save that, and you don't need to sync image in real time, right? You can just retrieve on the ones and you can save it locally and then always present it. So you can do that also. So now I am going to show you how to create an Firebase app in case you don't know. So let's just add demo chat app. Continue. I don't want the analytics. Create the project. I am on my Bluetooth, so of course there is going to be a lot of voice issues, right? The voice will be cutting off, and also there is going to be like a noise. But I'm on my Bluetooth. I don't have access to my uh, wired hands-free, so that's why that's the issue we have right now. Okay, so let's go there. Click on here. We want to add the web app, and I will say any name, which is going to be demo chat. You can add whatever name you want. I don't want the Firebase hosting, so I'm not selecting that. And now what you need to do is you need to copy this dictionary, right? The configuration of your app, where there is the API key, there is auth domain, project ID, storage bucket, right? So you need to copy this and go to your project which is in the Godot, right? So before I do that, let me just explain how this we only have two scene, main scene and chat scene. So let's just explain what it is. I have control node and then there is panel, email, password, line edit, sign up and login button. So it is very basic UI, right? And now on the script, what you need to do after you add the add-ons folder, right? Go to the project settings, click on plugins and click on enable. You need to enable Godot Firebase Lite, right? What it will do is that it will add this Firebase Lite auto load. So you can access it on anywhere in your code. So what you need to do is just, okay, oh yeah, main. So on your function ready, on your first scene, you can just say Firebase Lite dot initialize Firebase, in which you need to pass your apps which you want to use. I want to use authentication, Firestore, and also real-time database. So I have added that. And then you need to pass your dictionary, which is you are just going to copy paste it there. And then also we need to use add the database URL, which we will be able to get it afterwards, after this continue the console when I click it. Okay, so let's just go there. Paste it there and also go to the Firebase GD, which is you are going to find in add-ons, go to Firebase Lite and Firebase GD. Okay, and also change the values here. All right, you should also change the values here. And if you paste the database URL, make sure there is no slash at the end. I spent 6 to 8 hours just figuring out why it is not working, and it was because of this. Let me show you that in SSSA client, what happened was, see, here it is, right? The URL after we are adding slash, so it will it was slash, right? So just don't do that. Just add your config here, okay, and save it. You are good to go. So we are on here, right? You copy pasted it, then go back again. What we need to do now is that we need to add our apps, which is going to authentication. I want to add authentication. I want to add Firebase real-time database. And also you can add Firestore database if you want to, right? So on authentication, go there, get started. I am using email password. You can use any one you want, but in order to get the dataset, in order to understand the documentation, you should go here on this add-on page and go there in authentication. You will be able to find how to use that particular function if you are going to do that, right? So let's go there. I have used email and password, so I am going to use email password. You should enable it and save. So now you have this email password login enabled. And you can of course set whatever rules you want. You can also set the sign up quota, how many sign up user can do, how many user actions have. Just do this, right? Okay. Now on the real-time database, you just need to do is, yeah, create database. I'm using United States US Central. You can use any central, right? And right now start in test mode. The only reason I am saying this start in test mode is because you can actually check if the issue, you can, when you are making your database structure, you don't want to block it by these rules, right? So that's why I'm saying start in test mode, and then you should give the particular access to particular document depending on however you want. But right now just do this, okay? Enable it. Make sure don't forget to disable that afterwards, right? Otherwise everyone will be able to access your database directly if they get the link. And here you have your link, right? So I am just going to copy it, okay, and paste it here, database, capital URL, and just paste your database link here. Okay, this is my another Chatapp which I have already made, so that's why I'm not putting it there, right? So on function ready, we have initialized the Firebase Lite system or the Firebase system. Okay, now you have that. We need to set up the real-time database. So how I have set up it, I will show you on my Chatapp. So you just understand how everything is working, and then we will be going into the code part, right? So I have created this main document which is chat rooms, right, in which we have two. One is global, where everyone is putting the chat, right, and this is using a push function. And then we have the users, that every time new user signs up, we add this into this users list, right? We add this into the chat room slash user slash that particular username, and then we are adding this email. So I hope you understand how this chat system works, how our database structure is working, right? So let's go there. So first what we need to do, where it is, yeah. So on function sign up button pressed, I am just taking email from the email bar, right? From here dot as a text. And in order to sign up, you need to add two here, right? Firebase light dot authentication dot initialize auth to email and password. This is what this is going to do is that it will add uh, it will sign up your user and add it into the our database system. In our authentication part, it will add your user here. Okay. And then what I did, this is not the sign up part. Okay. This is not the sign up part. What I did, I wanted to add the username and email. I wanted to create the document. So what I did is that we are login. 3 means login. Okay. If you read the documentation of the add-on, you will understand. 3 means logged in. We logged in, and then what I did, I added the I sliced the username, and then I write, see, Firebase Lite real-time database dot write, right? Chatroom slash user slash username. So what I did here is exactly I am creating this database structure. See, why it is taking time? Yeah, chatroom users, then username, and in which we will add the key and value, which is going to be email and email, right? I am adding email. You can add as many values you want, right? You can do however you want, but do not use write function incorrectly. Otherwise what will happen, you will be replacing your users on top of each other. So don't, make sure you test it out before publishing or before trying to use the write function. All right, so we have did that, and now we need to log in. So it is going to be straightforward. Authentication initialize auth 3, we are logged in, and then I am changing scene to the chat scene. Okay, so this is actually pretty simple, right? I hope you're able to understand this part. Now let's go to the chat scene. So what I have made here is pretty simple. We have control node, and there is the panel, right? And everything is anchored properly. Uh, so whatever display size I change, it will work. Then we have just the label, which is I'm saying, and profile panel. There what we have, email and name. So what I am doing is that I will add the user email here and the name here in order to just to check that does it works or not. Then we have list item list, which is going to be the chat room. Then we have chat, which is again item list, right? So this is actually pretty simple UI, and you can theme it however you want. You can add the colors, you can display the change, and it will, you can make it more beautiful however you want, right? This is just the basic functional UI. So now let's get to the script part. Okay, so on the function ready, what I am doing, update user data and get the chat room, right? So on the update user data, what we are trying to do is that we want to get the database. So how you can get the user data is that if you check this authentication GD, which is there is this get user data function, and it is returning us the data, right? It is returning us the data. So we just go here, where is the chat GD, await. I'm using await everywhere because I don't want to kind of like get the another request header into another. I don't want to mix up everything. That's why I'm using await, but it's fine. Firebase authentication get user data, we got the data and we extracted the email and UID. I don't know why I haven't used UID anywhere in the code, but at that time I had some idea that we will use UID in the kind of like finding the user, but I just decided leave it as it is. And the reason why I did this is, I think I will need to show you why we have this kind of structure. Okay, so we are going to print the data, right? Let me just start the app. So see, we have this 0 and then we have kind, and in which we have users, right? So what I did, data 1, this is going to be 0, this is going to be 1. Here the how this add-on work is that on the first key it is sending us the error code, right? So if there is no error, there is here it is going to be 0, and if there is error, it is going to be error there, right? So I am accessing first key, which is going to be which is going to be this one, this part, and in which we are accessing the users, right? And in the users, you can take from anywhere. There is on everywhere. There is in you provider user info. Also there is the valid since. So you can get it from anywhere. I am taking from 0, which is going to be the first, and in which I am taking the email where it is. Yeah. So we are taking this key and this value. Okay, amscar.com, and for the local ID, I am doing the same. So the reason why this is type of code is because of our database. Our data set is kind of like this, right? So now let me just zoom it here. Okay. Now here we have the keys. I am checking the keys if the display name is there, because when we are logged in, there is no nickname setup, right? Okay, let me just close it and let me start again. We are signing up. So I am explaining you guys my code, how my code works, right? user3@amscar.com. Okay, this will be problematic. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Sign up. So we have now signed up, and I should have made some sort of message here that it is successful, but that's fine, and log in. So now see, there is no nickname directly, right? We need to add the nickname from our side, only then we will have that. So I can set up the nickname here. That's exactly what I am doing. If the keys don't have display now, as you can see in my case, where it is. Oh no, we started it again, so that's why. Yeah. So I can just add the key here, which is my username is going to be nickname is going to be user3, update the nickname, and now we have our display key variable. Yeah, we have this display name, which is user3. So we are getting this username to set it here, right? I hope you understand this part of the code. Okay, how this code works. So I have created the update user data function because I wanted to get this user info. Now we are going to get the chat rooms. So how we can get the chat rooms is that I have defined here active chat, which is always going to be first chat room / global, right? We will be accessing this part, right? I hope you understand that part. Now let's say get chat rooms. So what we are doing is that we are just saying read chat room / users. This is not the chat rooms. It is kind of like get the users, right? How many users we have. So what we are reading here, Firebase Lite real-time database dot read chat room / users, which is going to be here. It will be reading this part, right? We have this 3 users, so it will be reading that. Okay, let me just remove this. And let me print the room so you can understand why the follow code is kind of like that. Rooms. Okay. Now let's just update everything, refresh all, output. So we have this. Okay, what it is. Let me clear it up. So currently this is the output of get chat rooms, right? And as you can see, we have 0 again, and then we have mscar, in which we have email, and then user2, and then again user3. So we are taking that and we are pasting it here, right? I am adding in this list box all of the user. Okay, the get chat room is done, and now let's see. So now what we are doing is that we are connecting real-time database ref update or the constant listener, right? If you go here in real-time database, you can see we have this listen function. What it does is that it listens for the any kind of change happens in our database. As soon as the change happens, that function retrieves that particular change and sends it to you here, right? It will give us back. So see, we have this signal in real-time database, which is signal ref updated data, and it is emitted as soon as there is any change. So emit ref updated. So I just connected it here. How I connected? Firebase Lite.realtime database.connect ref updated with my chat manager. This function, right? With the chat manager. So that is connected, and then what we are doing is that we are starting the listener, the listen active chat. You need to do that afterwards, right? After you connect the signal, do that. Okay, and also the URL, also don't forget to kind of like the slash after, before the URL, after the URL. I think I told you already here, don't keep the slash, right? Okay, now let me go again. Okay, chat GD. So now let's just understand that particular function, how chat manager works. These all are basic function. I don't need to explain them, but this is the main function, right? So what we are doing is now we are requesting the chats which we got, and there is going to be, let me print everything so you understand that. Let me just remove this part and let me add the print here. Print chats, right? So I am printing the chats here. Okay, and if we change something, send. So you can see user 3, what we received in chat is going to be this, right? Because this is the not first one. Okay, this is not initial request, this is the later request. So that's why we retrieved only the change happened in the database, we retrieved only that, right? So you can just directly add it like it for item in, for I in timestamp, which is I have extracted the keys. Here it is going to be key user 3, only one key, and we have added that, right? So now what we need to do is that I need to show you what happens, why we have these two separate codes, why I have used the init rig part. So let's see. I'm logging in user 3 to at mscar.com 1 2 3 4 5 6 login, and see what we received is that we received entire code, right? We received the we received entire database on the first request, in which we have these keys, right? See what we are doing in the push button. When we enter the message, we do a send push, which is going to be this from real-time database dot push. Where we want to push, it is going to be active chat part, because for example, if someone is selecting this, then active chat should be updated to the user 3, and we will be focusing on any changes happening on that particular chat, right? So, and then we have nickname and message. I hope you understand that particular thing. Now see, so this was our first request, that's why we received all the data, and we have this kind of keys in our database. See where it is in the global chat. As you can see, this is minus npj, right? So it is kind of like push functionality, which allows us to have separate, kind of like separate sections, right? This is auto generated key, and it contains timestamp, and all of your messages or all of your data is in order. So whatever comes last is going to be last, whatever comes first is going to be the first, right? It is decided in the order. So it is very good for us, so we don't need to do timestamp or add anything. We can just directly go here, we can just use the for loop, and we can get the data. So how for loop works, see what we are doing is this. I have added the initial request is equal 0, because on the next request we will be receiving the only the change, right? So for I in timestamp, what we did, we get the keys. So what are the keys here? Those you see this minus np minus npj, that is the keys, and in that keys there is going to be another, which is going to be your user mscar, and there is going to be the value message, right? Var sender is going, variable sender is going to be chats I, which is going to be this, and then keys or 0. So this is going to be your user sender, and there is going to be message. So I hope you understand how my entire code works, right? I think I have explained very well how code works, but if you don't understand, then you can create the issue on the GitHub and we will discuss it out.